We Got a Podcast was filmed before a live internet audience.
Hello and welcome to We Got a podcast normally about Dragon Ball. From Earth to Jirai to Geminar, we're going to cover it all. My name is Randy.
And I'm Doug.
And I'm Ken, but I've been fused with another version of Ken for, no reason.
That happens. It's going around. We're the world's strongest under the heavens Chosen here every other week to talk your ear off about all things aliens, girls, and spaceships, and laser swords. And, just a little break from our regular Dragon Ball stuff. We're doing our bonus episodes covering the Tenchi Muyo Ryo-Ohki OVA series. So, some good old classic 90s anime that we just wanted to dive into and enjoy, and we thought it'd be a good time. And we're live to watch it, not to watch it, but to, hang out with you guys and to do this show. And I'm excited. So we're doing it now, and this is going to be episodes 4 and 5 of OVA 2, or episodes 11 and 12 overall. Yeah, it's going to get even weirder.
Give me the titles. Just give me the titles, whatever they are, because none of that matches up to what they are.
Yeah, the advent of the goddess and Zero Ryoko, if that's what you wanted. But next time we're doing this, which as far as I know, we're doing this 2 weeks from this past Tuesday that it was supposed to be. So Tuesday the 13th. Guys, are you down for that?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
I think.
Oh,
that's
good.
What I celebrate 4th of July. So I don't know. I'll have to move that stuff around. But
all right, that works. Whatever
That's
works
when
for
I
you.
celebrate the androids not destroying us.
It's a good one. It's a good way to do it. So then for that one, we'll be doing episode 13. And why the hell not? We'll do 13.5. Here Comes Jirai 2, which is like a 7-minute thing. I know, Doug. I don't make the rules.
Do I just hit next episode? Is that...
I'll double check to make sure that it's there. But it's just going to be like a 7-minute thing. It's hardly animated, just like it's like a slideshow.
OVA 3, season 12.5.
It sets everything up for OVA 3.
Whoa.
That took like 8 years to come out. So
Great.
Yeah, it's good times. So look forward to that. But yeah, we're going to do these here episodes here first. If you're just joining us or you're like, oh, I don't even know what this Tenchi stuff is. Well, don't worry. I'm going to let you know. So it is an original creation by Masaki Kajishima and Hiroki Hayashi by Studio AIC. It was originally going to be a Bubblegum Crisis thing, and they were all like, nah, and they were like, fine, we'll just do it on our own as a special thing that we make up ourselves, and Tenchi was born, and that's how that works. So it's been going on a long time, since 1992. Encompasses a whole bunch of stuff, GXP, Photon the Idiot Adventures, some hentai series. So look out for that. We're not going to cover that here. One, because I don't think it's heavy on the plot or character interactions, other than
some might say it's plot and backstory.
Starts off, yeah.
I'm going to believe you.
A lot of back going on.
Oh, anyway, let's just jump into this. Episodes 11 and 12 overall for Tenchi Muyo Ryo-Ohki. Guys, how did you feel about these? Doug, I got to know, what'd you think?
I was okay. More lukewarm on it. It wasn't anything... I felt like it was retreading stuff that we'd already done before, but it's kind of hard to not do that. I guess we'll get into more of that later, but yeah, it's still fine. But nothing earth-shattering for me.
That's totally fair. Ken, what were your thoughts?
Oof,
he says.
The Dragon Ball Daima of Tenchi episodes.
Oh, wow.
I think
sure
this
was a hot take there.
A stunningly weak duo of episodes here. Not to say there's obviously stuff I liked in it, and I think I liked the first one of the two a lot more, but there's a lot of just characters standing around talking.
That's fair.
And that's fine, and the lore is cool and everything, but we have, we'll get into it in a little bit, but yeah, I'm not super hot on these episodes, and then I think the whole thing at the end with Ryoko is what, so your goal, your end point here with Ryoko is to strip her of everything really that's made her great this whole time.
Yeah. Well, I think maybe more have her open up more, realize it's okay to be true to your feelings.
Yeah, but that's not fun and that's not earned. That is Piccolo changing because he absorbed Nail and because he absorbed Kami.
It's Gohan unlocking his potential with the Supreme Kai. Yeah.
Well, one could say that it's still how she's always felt. It's just now she has, the ability to open up more. But we'll get into that.
Yeah.
So good to know. Lukewarm and oof, the Daima of Tenchi Muyo. Here's the thing. I had fond memories of these episodes because this was the last big chunks of lore we got in the story for the longest amount of time before OVA 3 came around. Well, yeah, because it took 8 years after this, because the next episode is not a lot of lore, which is good. That's fine. I love the next episode.
I probably would enjoy that more. I've been lored enough. Just give me the slice of life stuff now.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you there. But for me back then, I was I wish I knew more. And this was kind of the thing that's oh, what does this mean? What's that? What could this do? It's very exciting. So, but now, yeah, they're kind of more of a weaker thing, but there's some dynamics that I really enjoy. But let's just get into it for real here. So, episode 11, The Advent of the Goddess. This episode came out March 25th, 1994, which normally these episodes have kind of been a month to the day between each other.
Isn't it 95?
Gosh, darn it, you're right.
Backstreet Boys haven't hit the States yet, so.
They haven't?
Right.
Well, we'll get into the Backstreet Boys later. Yeah. So, March 25th, 1995.
Yes. Thank you for catching that. That was a remnant from the previously copied outline that we have.
Outline.
So.
Gotcha.
Yeah, exactly. So March 25th, 1995. And like I said, this is normally, it's been a month to the day between episodes in their respective season. This time, 5 months since our last episode. Yeah, so a bit of a break since our last one. But if you don't remember what this episode is all about, I've got a handy little thing that I wrote here for you. So strap in. Here. Some new schemes are afoot as Dr. Clay sets out at Lady Tokimi's order to capture Washu. The vengeful Dr. Clay enlists his robot assistant Zero to capture Ryoko, steal her identity and memories, and get her hands on Washu. But what they didn't plan for was just how much Ryoko loves Tenchi. Can Zero move past this distraction to complete her mission? All right, fellas.
So
this is an odd one.
I just looked up because you said the 5 months since the previous episode. So we've talked about this before. When did Universe start? Tenchi Universe started on April 2nd, 1995. So you have to think that a lot of the AIC staff were in pre-pro. And so maybe that's why this one was so far delayed.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I could understand that. Because, they started working on multiple things at the same time versus before it was this.
Multiple, but still Tenchi stuff.
Yeah. Stuff for television rather than these, which were released straight.
That. Yeah.
Yeah. Straight to Laserdisc and VHS. That's how this whole thing was.
Right, but because in America, when we think of it straight to home release, we think, oh, it's B tier, just random shit. No, this in Japan it's opposite. It's no, we can do anything because it's going straight to home release. So that's cool.
This was the premium stuff was OVA.
Right.
The exact opposite of Return of Jafar.
And then, unfortunately, now OVA stuff is not like that. It's more just here's a bonus feature that we include on the DVD for the TV series that is less focused and a lower budget, and it's sad.
Yeah.
This is not a podcast about Aladdin, but we can make it one if you want. But Second Rate is an awesome song, and if you've never seen Return of Jafar, just go Google that part of the movie, YouTube it. They cooked with that song, man. It is as good as any other Disney song.
Karaoke time?
It's Jafar singing, so it's awesome. And it's he's doing goofy stuff's happening because he's Genie Jafar by that point. So definitely check out Second Rate from The Return of Jafar.
Just like these episodes, there's some key stuff going on.
Yeah. Thank you for that aside, Ken. I think it was very much needed. That's a good way to start.
I mean, that should show you how excited I am to talk about these particular two Tenchi episodes.
Jafar.
All right. Well, you're putting Doug's back through hell because now it has to sit through an aside on Return
use
of
me
Jafar.
as an excuse.
I'll use my friends how I like. Okay, episode 11. This one starts out really weird because we don't have Tenchi, we don't have the girls for an extended period because instead it's all mysterious bad guy shenanigans. We've got this dude Clay who's got an octopus shaped beard and his robo friend Zero. They're just carting in a galaxy and they're coming around to just this really weird place. They go through a whole bunch of like space wreckage, and then there's like planets lined up real weird. Ken, what do you want to say?
This is the ship that we've seen since last season, right?
What do you mean?
Like they've shown it at the end of the episode, just like ominously
with the
coming
big woman.
in.
I think we just saw it last episode, but that's it.
one episode ago.
Are you sure? I feel like we saw a huge ship without
I
any
would have
context in
recognized
season
that
1.
woman a lot earlier than this.
Yeah, this is our first time seeing that ship. Because unless you're thinking about the Soja, which was Kagato's ship, but that doesn't have a lady.
Which they even mentioned in the episode like later. They're like, this is just like the Soja or the Kagato ship.
I'll defer to you on that. It seemed strange.
Maybe it's just captured your attention. She's just so beautiful. You're like, oh, it's like I've seen her my entire life.
maybe in a dream of what's the young girl's name?
Sasami.
Yeah.
Sasami.
I almost said Sasami again, dude.
Sasami.
That'd be a good one, though. So there's this place they go to, and it's just bonkers weird. We've got planets that are like aligned. We've got a random tree in space. There's all these like statue things, and just like stuff is weird. There's like a waterfall in space on its own. It's so cool, but it's just very odd. But I really, really like it. Clay and Zero head out of their ship, and they're just kind of floating along, and the robot's like, oh, hey, our mission's not complete. Are you sure it's okay to go back here? It's like, nah, it's going to be fine. I got business to do.
Yeah, they're going to want to hear what I have to say. Yeah.
Shouts out to Dr. Clay's dub actor. He
so
brings the Kagato here to party energy in the voice recording booth. And I just love that.
I thought so too. He had a great, it was a very like natural fitting voice. It was great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they did a perfect casting job for him. Like, just really gets the slimy but like smart dude that's full of himself, but you know, all that. It's really, really good. Did you guys catch immediately who was voicing Zero right from the start?
No.
I'm assuming it was Patria, but
yeah. The whole time, even in Robo.
Is it really?
Wow.
Yeah.
I had no idea. That's awesome.
Dude, that's range.
Yeah, man. It's good. It's good stuff.
So now we can say that Patria Burchard has voiced 2 anime characters.
That's true. That's very fair. So they get to the place that they're going to. They're talking to a disembodied magic head named D3. Just a cool name, I think. You know, just very mysterious, sci-fi, so on.
He's a king, some might say.
Mm-hmm. So Clay learned about...
My Kirby reference is just lost.
Yeah, Ken is
It took me too long.
Ken like, these guys won't get it.
I got it right before I started talking, and I'm like, it's too late. I can't.
All right.
My mouth is already moving.
We got to do the show on Thursdays from now on. This is good energy. Keep going.
This energy, yeah.
Well, you have less time to edit, so we can't do that for the regular episodes. That would be hell. So I'm not going to do that to you. So Clay has learned about this person, Lady Tokimi, who we've heard before from Sasami, is searching for a certain person, as they keep putting, which is really interesting. And he wants to talk to Lady Tokimi about that. Mm-hmm. And talk in person. Tokimi descends from the higher dimension.
He's like, she's already here.
Yeah, she's always around, man. But like, I guess now she'll like actually manifest in your dimension so you can perceive her. Mm-hmm. And all these like silhouettes pop up. It's like, oh, okay, this is ominous. And then
one that looks like Washu too.
Yeah, and who does the other one look like?
Goku.
Exactly.
Well, it looks like Tsunami.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Which she even brings up and is like, she says that name because, you know, she's like, I'm looking, you know, oh, you're right. I am looking for Lady Washu, who's I hear with Lady Tsunami. So it's like, okay, so we have 3 characters here that all refer to themselves as Lady something or other. So it's like, okay, are they all interesting? Okay, so that's interesting. So yeah, Lady Tokimi is looking for the 2 of them and is like, yeah, all right, Clay, you can go find Washu for me, and I'll give you that galaxy in exchange. Like, that can be yours, and you can rule over it and do whatever the hell you want. So he's like, yeah, man, sounds like a good exchange to me. And they head off, but the robot, Zero, is just freaking out. Like, I know I saw her, but I've got this database and, like, all of my instruments. that lady doesn't exist.
I love that so much because it just adds so much ominous like feeling. Like a robot shouldn't have emotion, and yet it feels fear. Like, and they even pointed out like you shouldn't feel like fear. It's like I know, but I do. I don't understand her as a being, which just like it makes it like so much more cooler. Like what kind of like ungodly or godly creature is Tokimi kind of thing. It's crazy. And then also it sets up for stuff later because he's like, are you sure your memory's wiped? It's like, yeah, it's wiped, but I'm still scared. It adds a little nugget in there. I love when they can do that.
I'm going to be honest with you. It's around this point where I kind of long for Tenchi Universe, where the lore, there's lore in that show as I remember, but it's just much more straightforward. Like Ryoko is just a space pirate. Washu is, as I remember, just a brilliant scientist. And it's just like it's like OVA 1 understanding of characters, and then they don't push it really too far. Right. And you get Kione, and what was that lady's name? She's not Naga, but you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, I think it's Nagi.
Dark haired Kagato. So
it feels like they're trying too much.
Yeah, it feels like Kajishima, is that the guy's name? Mm-hmm. The writer. Like he's going crazy, and someone's got to rein him in, and it's not happening.
To break it to you,
yeah,
it's not ever gonna happen.
And
I want to see where he goes.
I will see this OVA through to the end, but it's already making me long for a universe.
Okay, I get you,
and that's totally fair. And that's what's great is that universe is right there for you, so you'll always have that, and that's exciting. But yeah, this one's just going to be off the rails, as far as I know, from here to eternity. So strap in for that. Doug, you're going to have a good time. Or not.
Yeah.
This could get real End of Evangelion all over again.
I'm down for that.
The implications of what this show is hinting at with Washu, I don't need this. This character doesn't need this. She should just be the cool, really old science lady and just leave it at that.
That's fair. So it's not Tenchi Universe, but we are going to go back to Earth, to Tenchi at this point, and all of that other fun stuff. So Sasami and Mihoshi are cooking together. Ryo-Ohki's there. Remember, now she can turn into like a little humanoid girl.
So adorable. So cute.
So cute.
But like you said earlier, it's been like 10 minutes or whatever of not seeing Tenchi and them on Earth. I like that because once you do and you hear that jingle and you see the outside of the house, it's like, oh yeah, these guys like are friends kind of thing. It feels nice to jump back into them. It's like, okay, yeah, it was an appropriate amount of time.
Yeah, I think a perfect amount of time to really set something up and get you excited for what's to come. And then feeling like, I'm home.
Yeah, how's it going to affect our guys? It's cool.
Yeah, exactly. How's this going to rope them into it?
Yeah.
So they're like, okay, well, we're going to have dinner here soon. But they're like, oh, where's Ryoko? And Sasami's like, she went off to go get some sake for dinner. So she'll be back in time for that. But things don't go that great. She's, taking her time, taking some swigs on her way, which, I get it. That's appealing to me. I like
she's
Ryoko.
Holding it like in a cool way.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to really explain it for the audio listeners. But I hope you watched the episode.
She's holding the rope thing for it and then balancing it over her forearm to drink, which is very like Ronin style of sake drinking.
Cool.
And she's like, all right, cool. I'm going to head home before Zero shows up. And Zero, very effective because immediately it's just like, oh, some goop tentacles and just grabs Ryoko. But sure, her arms can't move. But then she has this cool thing where she throws hair needles.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Oh, such a hair cool needles. Thing. Just
not unlike the porcupine people from the Moro arc, Doug.
Oh,
do you remember? They could create portals, and then 7-3 steals the portal.
Not only
and then what happens?
They're intergalactic.
Zero and was it 7-3?
And they fuse.
Who
or steal their
takes
power.
Over their body and can copy them. Oh, isn't that interesting? That's right. Toyotaro loves Tenchi, specifically this episode.
Is a hack.
No. This is a good reference. He's not Tracy.
Good reference, yeah.
So this thing, I can't even words. I love this transition where these hair needles have hit Zero and she stops them all. And she's like, why would you try to put scars on a woman's face? And the voice changes from this robotic thing to Ryoko's as she lifts up and the goop just starts falling off. and it's Ryoko underneath. She's like, "Whoa, are you my clone?" Like, it's such a cool transition.
It's done well. It's done really well.
Yeah, I love it. And so she's like, all right, well, I'm going to take your body and memory, and that's how it's going to be. And then Clay's ship shows up. It's like, aha, we got her. It's going to go great. And I was thinking, like, how does Washu not see this at all? Because this whole thing is happening. She's got this connection with Ryoko. But Clay brings up, like, I can't be around too long. Otherwise, Washu is going to notice. And then later on, they bring up that the link is severed. So that way, Washu doesn't know what's happening.
She must be super busy with, like, Tenchi bound up and naked on her experimental table or something like that.
It's true.
Now, are we skipping over the fact that the robot cannot duplicate the Jorian gems?
No, because that was my next point. Yeah. So Ryoko has some fake gems on her, but she has one real one on her wrist. And they're like, oh, the copy went perfect. And then that gem shorts out and explodes and takes out her arm with it.
It's like, you're just gonna have like a fake philosopher's stone. Like it just doesn't, it can't be.
Yeah. They're like, you're going to have to take the real one because we can't, like, they'll know if it's not her without that. Which and also what is that thing?
Layer of cool, like, whoa, this thing is so mystic that they can't even copy it kind of thing. Like, what is this? What really is this gem?
Yeah, he even brings up, like, it's not like his science that did it. He's like, the power given to me by Lady Tokimi, even her power can't copy it. And it's like, what are these? And Zero's like, I searched Ryoko's memory. She's got no clue either. So it's like, all right, super mysterious. Love it. Love that stuff. Mm-hmm. So Clay takes off. Zero steals the real gem. Oh, and Clay says that his plan was to just kill the real Ryoko at this point, but decides this is weird, the whole gems and like what her deal is. I'm going to keep her for study because I think I can learn some stuff from her rather than just kill her on sight. That was the plan. This is a very cool thing where like Ryoko calls out for Tenchi. We cut now to Tenchi with Ryoko. It's like, oh, I thought I heard somebody calling me, but you know, whatever. I guess it is what it is. And Ryoko, or Washu's doing her regular experiments and, you know, asking like, hey, have you been able to do those Lighthawk wings again? He's like, I've been trying. I can't do it. And it's kind of like, okay, well, it's go ahead.
I wish they could show us that. Like, what situation would you be in where the Lighthawk wings would trigger like that? Well, not in any danger.
That's the reason. They don't know that it requires him to be like in a life or death situation. It's like, can you just like bring those out whenever? So it's like, I don't know, just try it. Like, is he out farming and his hoe breaks in half? He's like, I got matter conversion in my Lighthawk wings. Let me just summon one and turn it into a, you know, special super science hoe.
He's got to feel the tingles in his back, but he doesn't feel it yet.
My God. Can we not?
Okay, we won't. So he hasn't been able to do that since Kagato. And he's like, are you sure that those were me? Because I feel like that was a tsunami thing. It's like, no. Again, reiterating, can't be for these reasons. So stop thinking it that way. It might be mental. It can only be summoned in moments where they're absolutely needed. And that's that. They're going to go have some dinner. But Tenchi's like, well, I got to go find Ryoko because she's still running late. And Zero shows up and is like peeking in, like, oh, Washu, she doesn't even know what I'm about to do. This is going to go so great. And then Tenchi just shows up, Ryoko, and then just it turns red and just like can't move.
That's the effect that we hear a million times in this episode now. Yeah.
I love that sound effect just because it's this. You know, that's all I think about. And Zero, who is like, you know, kind of just like a precise piece of machinery that is like, I have a mission and I will do it. But it's like, oh, let me walk over to Tenchi, trip, but then be like, here, you should have some sake. I drank from it. So it's kind of like we're indirectly kissing. He's like, okay, weirdo. This is strange.
Also, I'm 18, maybe.
I just think this is too much, too fast. And they play the joke over and over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
I guess that's fair, but they were like, we got plenty of time. We do not have to be beholden to a regular running time. This isn't going to be airing on television, well, at least not intended anyway. But they're like, I guess we're just going to play the joke out a lot. So I get that. But Zero is kind of confused by these intense feelings that she's experiencing. As the other girls watch her just being weird, like she's just sitting there like, oh, feeling so strange. And they're all like peeking out like, this weirdo. I love it. Washu does a test on of all nights. She's like, tonight's the night that I'm testing everybody's vitals, and we're going to make sure everybody is who they were when they got here.
Yeah, that's kind of funny.
This like really weird, goofy like head with feet that she just puts on people's heads.
Yeah,
and God, I just love KT Vogt. I don't know how to say her last name. It's VOGT. I don't know.
I think we.
As Washu.
Washu's
voice actress, like putting it on Ayaka, and she's like, "Okay, do this, do that. Now open up wide, bigger, and smile."
It's really cute.
It's super cute.
And then
it's
she
like, all right, cool.
Pokes her nipples, and Ayaka has like a over exaggerated response.
Yeah.
Well, it's very princess-like, so she's doing it. She's doing it right, I guess. I don't know. We got to have some sort of weird sexual humor. It's Tenchi after all.
Yeah.
You know?
How sensitive are Jiraiyan erogenous zones is what I'd like to know.
Those are the questions we need answered.
Yeah.
Being poked by a 20,000-year-old woman who's looks like she's 12. So,
Randy, I'm going to need you to check that 100 facts about Tenchi book or whatever it was that we talked about before, and let me know if there's anything about that in there.
About the Jiraiyan nipples? Absolutely. I will be on that like crazy. So it's like, all right, Ryoko, you got to come down. It's your turn. I'm like, okay, the jig is going to be up immediately. Puts it on her head and like doing the whole things, and we get the intense music. Like, it's just as I suspected. And they're like, what is it? And then just pokes her in the boob. Your breasts are sagging. Like, again, Washu criticizing her own daughter and her body.
Yeah.
Like,
classic gag. It's funny in the moment.
Yeah, classic. It's funny. Like, these people aren't real. It's like, I don't know. I can understand being sensitive to it, but like for me, it's like, this is just goofy, and I like this. So next day, Tenchi is heading to the farm. Like everything is just kind of like jumping along. Like, all right, we're just having a day, but then like Zero is there, so always be remembering that.
I guess Zero's always waiting for a moment where Washu's alone or something where she can like nab her, but it never happens within this whole day or whatever.
So many people living in this house. Like I get it. It's hard to get one person alone.
Yeah.
Tenchi's heading to the farm, gets stopped by Washu, who wants to examine him more. Again, this voice actress for Washu knocking it out of the park of just like, he's like, oh, I gotta go. Like, ooh, you mean thing. Just being so goofy. And then Ryoko jumps down, is gonna get her, and then, oh, hey, Washu, and like Ryoko, and then Tenchi just came back, and then of course we get the sound effect and the red
freezes
head.
Up and can't go along with the kidnapping.
Exactly. Oh, that's right. He's looking for his gloves. And she's like,
I have it. Silly me. Which leads to the funniest, like I laughed out loud when I think they will look at Ryoko. She's frozen, scared or like shy, and they both are just like whatever, and they walk away, and the bird noise hits. And that bird noise sells the joke so well. It's so good.
That's comedy.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, like Clay is intrigued because he's watching this the whole time, and he's like, okay, Washu called Tenchi his guinea pig. What does she mean by that? What's the relationship going on here? I'm confused. So we've got our next jump. All the girls are napping. Zero gets stopped to do laundry because Tenchi's like, oh, hey, you got to do the laundry. And I had, like, when I first watched this, I was so confused because, like, Zero is, like, freaking out and then holds out her hand and, like, moves around, like, pokes at it a bit and then looks like she swallows something. And then her blush goes away. She's like, oh, okay, I'll go do that. But this is a cultural thing that Americans don't have, but it's like it's kind of like a prayer sort of thing of like drawing a specific kanji, and I can't remember which one, and then swallowing it to just be like, okay, just like to suppress those feelings or whatever.
I didn't even recognize that happening at all, so I gotta
me either.
You gotta lock in, man. Did you watch this twice?
I 3 times.
3?
Yeah, I passed out the first time, so I wanted to make sure I watched it again. Yeah.
That's fair.
Classic me.
Classic. They're napping. Mihoshi gets woken up by her watch going off. There's things of getting contacted by HQ, and she's got to go back to her ship. Pulls out her cube. I just like the standing there talking and futzing with it, and then just like suddenly, bloop, she's just in her outfit.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta go.
It's really cool. And then she ends up in the lake because she doesn't do it right because of course she's Mihoshi, and it's funny though.
Yeah, it's so good. I love that. So she shows up. We get Yukinojo again, her computer thing. He doesn't seem as, annoyed with her this time, which bums me out. We also didn't ask for her password.
Allow me to be horny on Maine real quick for 1 second.
Sure.
Whatever the animators wanted to do, they made her look hot when like she's wet because she just fell in the lake, right? She's coming back. Yeah. Her just taking that off, like I was like, whoa, animators, don't chill. I like this. She was good.
Mahoshi's a hottie, so I get it.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
Like the hair, like it looks kind of short because she has a hat on. Everything. Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah.
Oh, you're a short hair guy. Interesting.
Sometimes. I don't know.
Sometimes.
That does it for me. So, yeah. We can resume. Horny off Maine.
All right, sure. So she's got a voice memo from her boss who lets her know that, hey, the Galaxy Police spaceship Shunga was robbed by an unknown person, last seen in her area. And if she's seen anything, just contact headquarters. Don't do anything else. Just contact headquarters. And she's like, I'm off to investigate. Like, no.
And they brought this up last episode when they were watching the news program.
When it was the Ryo-Ohki thing where they were watching like the romance show and they get interrupted. And it's like, oh, this Galaxy Police ship Shunga was robbed. And Mahoshi's like, oh, no. And they're all like, whatever. Don't care.
Love that.
So, yeah, we got to keep it all tied together, which I love. Yeah. Zero gets stopped by Tenchi from kidnapping Washu. Washu talks her into doing data entry, like in her lab.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to go for dinner.
And at this point, Washu is not, for all we know, not onto the scheme that this is not actually Ryoko. So she's just taking advantage of Ryoko any chance she can get.
By this point, I think she definitely knows.
She suspects.
She might have suspicion. It's not until she sees the tattoo or the marking that she's like, "Oh, what's going on?" I think I want to believe that she didn't know until that moment where she spots the tattoo.
I like her being like, "I'm suspicious. Like, I'm gonna tell her do some data entry, and if it's the real Ryoko, she'd be like, "Get fucked. I'm leaving." Oops, sorry, didn't mean to swear. It's you two. But too bad. We're not in the first 30 seconds, and I know that's when they really care. So
on this note, the stuff going on about Giant Bomb, I think I'll leave these Tenchi episodes uncut. So,
I don't know what's going on.
Oh, they were like given a mandate from the company that owns them that they have to be PG-13. And basically, my understanding of it is that like everyone just went and quit because they don't want to hold back. So for Tenchi, go wild. But
all right,
fuck yeah.
Ken, you're not going to go in and like edit because I don't want to start swearing. You're like,
I'm not looking at the time, so I won't remember. I'm not going to go looking for it.
Alrighty, good deal. So Mahoshi does not make it back for dinner as she had promised, and everyone's just kind of thrown off by Zero's behavior. And I don't remember what she did or anything, but they're all kind of like, okay.
She's just being cutesy by like eating dinner, like, hey, eat your food. Oh, okay, and just eats, and it's unusual for her to be so demure.
That's very fair. Yeah, that would throw me off too. So Zero is just not doing her mission now. She goes off to the cave where Ryoko was held before and is going through Ryoko's memories of like, seeing Tenchi growing up and like watching him go through all of these things. And then she finally comes back and Washu immediately just like, let's go take a bath. Come with me. I'm not going alone. And she's like dragging her to their onsen for that whole thing.
My note here is bathing scene. Oh, yes. Let's go, gamers. Is what I wrote down.
Let's go, gamers.
That first shot of Zero, like in the bath, just like looking at Washu, just like, that idiot. I could get her right now.
Yeah. She's like, I have right where I want her.
Mm-hmm. It's just very well drawn. Like,
and then when she starts bathing her and like Ryoko has her ponytail up. Oh, Ryoko in a ponytail like that. Oh, so cute.
I love Ponytail Ryoko. It is so good. So Washu is just giving her a bath, because she's like, well, Tenchi doesn't like dirty girls, so I got to wash you. Washu.
Wow. So, hey, about that. Name pun.
And notices a peculiar tattoo on her daughter's butt cheek. That's never been there as far as she knows. And it's like, that's strange. Now, for the last couple episodes of our podcast, I have not bothered to go and watch the Toonami edits because I'm like, there's not a lot. I'm sure it's just like changing any sort of risque language, putting a bathing suit on somebody.
You're wondering how they handled this scene then?
I was. So I actually watched both these episodes on Toonami today, from the Toonami broadcast today. And I was like, okay, how are they going to handle the washing scene?
Guess?
I would love you to give a guess.
I think they kept it and they just kind of zoomed in so that it's vaguely a butt cheek.
Oh, interesting. Ken, do you have a guess how they would have handled this scene?
No idea.
None. Okay, then we're going to go straight with it. Doug, that would be great. But unfortunately, there's a bunch of shots where Ryoko is also just naked and we see, full breasts and everything. Yeah. And before they've done, we're going to digitally put in a bikini and stuff like that. But they felt this scene not important at all.
Oh.
So we have Washu grabbing Ryoko and like, you're going to come take a bath with me. And they just instead put a Washu voiceover at that point that says, you should really clean the toilet because that would please Tenchi. So then we cut to our next scene after this.
I can.
Yeah.
From their point of view, that's very smart because it's not that the scene is not necessary, but you can assume like Washu figures it out eventually. And like Ken was saying, like she probably already knew ahead of time for this, but this was just. I think this was just her. So I think you're right. Is that she was suspicious before, but it wasn't until the tattoo that she's like she knows who is doing what. And this must be one of his clones, and like now I know how to manipulate it fully.
I think she knew. I think she knew all along. It was Dr. Clay. She took Ryoko to the bath to make sure.
Oh, okay.
Because she knew that he would brand her. Yeah.
Yeah, look out for that brand. Okay.
So he's like, let me find the branding on her, and then I'll know for sure.
Yeah, because Washu's no dummy. But that's interesting, Doug, and I'm going to come back to that next episode when we talk about some of the Toonami edits. So, it's after this, like, she goes and she cleans the toilet, and Tenchi is like, oh, you're cleaning the toilet? Like, yeah, isn't it my turn? Like, no, it's Washu's turn to clean the toilet. It's like, but, thanks for that. And of course, Ryoko is just, a giggly mess and turning red, and it's so cute.
And
now
legitimately does work out for her. Like she says, like, I guess that worked out. Like, yeah, I mean, Washu actually did help you in a sense in that aspect. Where Tenchi's like impressed by you.
Zero is acting in such a way that's incongruous with the way that Ryoko has acted through the entire series. And that every character but Washu is stupid. And in Washu's case, she's just playing stupid. But that no one picks up on this. And that's when I'm saying like the daima of these episodes that we've been watching. Stuff's just happening. And they're not thinking 2 steps ahead or really justifying the why or showing that these characters have any kind of like inner monologue about the situation that's happening around them.
My inner headcanon now that we've talked about this is I think that Washu was suspicious from the very beginning and had a group meeting with everyone like, hey, something's going on, just act normal around this Ryoko. And so everyone's so because later on Ayeka says something that's like she knew as well, like Washu had told her before, like, you're right, this is not a Ryoko kind of thing. And so I want to believe that she told everyone, kind of.
It's a good point. I'm also curious how much time actually took place in between our last episode and this one. Because for OVA 1, things were kind of happening in real time, where a month would pass in between each episode. But now for OVA 2, their schedule has been so weird that the previous one came out, oh gosh, what was it? It would have been like November. But it was taking place in spring. So it's like, okay, time's weird. But I was like, well, maybe 5 months, Ryoko has chilled out a little bit. So they're like, oh, this isn't so weird. This is a natural evolution of this character over time.
It doesn't bother me so much because you can take it both ways as either the house is like weirded out at how Ryoko's acting, or it could just be like they're weirded out that it's fun to see Ryoko acting this way. Like they know that this is not Ryoko, but it's still like fun and weird to see her act that way. So it could be taken both ways.
But the characters don't even really comment on it. Like, oh, Ryoko, you've been acting so strange lately. Or
that leads me to my point of like that Washu probably told them. So it's like, hey, let's just act natural around this character.
Right. And to be fair, they, being suspicious is good, but like everybody in this house is like mega powerful. And like,
that's true. Yeah.
You can probably handle whatever it is.
Yeah.
So at this point, Zero is now out doing more chores. She's sweeping outside because that's the thing she's supposed to be doing, and thinking about Tenchi while Dr. Clay starts shouting at
I love, like she's just so giddy that she's like brushing so hard that smoke appears above her. Tenchi.
Zero! Just shouting before. Every like shot of just like Zero floating in the sky, talking with Clay is always cool. And now this one is neat. She's up and above the earth. She's still got like her
still has
thing
and a broom and everything.
Like this is great. I need a super high quality this had to upscale this to 4K.
Because we could take it for granted the first time I saw it, but the second time I watched it, I'm like, must have been fun to draw. Just like Ryoko in space with a broom and cleaning a tire.
Mm-hmm. So yells at her, says he knows Tenchi is distracting her, and tells her, you know what you have to do. And just a very cool thing, like he doesn't say it here, but there's just like this weird like light beam that like goes through her eye, and then she's like, okay, yeah, I get what I have to do. And then we have, I think, one of my top 3 Ryoko outfits all the time. I call it the cat eye tits outfit.
Yes.
Where it's got like these yellow things that just wrap around her breasts, but then it's got like eyes that come over, and I'm like, looks like a black cat.
Shows her like belly button, like her whole tummy is exposed.
Midriff, right? The whole thing is
such
exposed.
a good look. But not even like a male gaze kind of way. I just think it's an awesome like outfit. Like,
yeah,
cool. Yeah.
But also the male gaze way.
Also the male gaze, but yeah, totally.
It could be for two reasons. You could be like, this is objectively a very creative outfit, and whoever is doing this is really like thinking outside the box and making stuff that is specific to characters, but also damn, them abs.
It's got it's got the male gaze, and some females probably turn gaze too. So. All right, let's go.
And it's just cool seeing her chilling at night, all alone, drinking some sake, looking up at the moon. Like, clearly, this is like just before the big mission type thing. And she's like, all right, cool. Well, I guess I got to do what my orders are. And she goes into Tenchi's room, and she summons not her sword, but a beam dagger. So it's like just the bottom part of her sword.
Shorter, yeah.
Oh, it's just so cool. Very like assassin-looking sort of thing in her black outfit.
You forget that this character has like the coolest weapon of all anime. Right?
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah.
So simple and elegant, but so cool looking. And then we get to hear like what that order was, which is just, if he's a distraction, eliminate him. And she goes over to his bed, pulls up the sword, and then screams as she stabs into it. Quick, pull out to the earth as
the pain of like, I just killed him, no, kind of thing.
That haunting scream, and then there's our ending theme. That's the end of the episode. You got to wait a while.
As anyone, that the cliffhanger is pointless. Like, there's no way she killed hero.
It's very funny for the next episode preview. They're like, what? Tenchi's dead again?
Yeah.
My note here is, wow, what a cliffhanger. Do you think she killed him?
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, there's no way anyone believed that, but yeah.
No, but it's still neat. And it's just the haunting scream that she has, especially that Patria.
Yes, both English and Japanese. They both let out a crazy scream.
Good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, love it. Love this character. I love Zero. And even though what I like about Ryoko is how rough she is, like, I don't know, seeing the side of her is just so fun and interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I dig it. Anything else you guys have to say about this episode now that we've, gone through the whole thing, start to finish?
No, I think
it was really cool to see. Oh no, I don't think. No, I'm thinking about the next episode. No, so we can go to the next episode.
Well, perfect.
I had this great point, but wait, no, hold on.
It's not.
Write it down. Don't forget it. I want you to bring it up. So we're going to roll right into episode 12, Zero Ryoko. And this one came out June 25th, 1995, which was 3 months since the previous episode. So again, another break. Wow. Ken, was there any other production that was in between these two?
I mean, by this point, we are well into Tenchi Universe. I can pull up an episode list real quick here.
Okay, Tenchi Universe.
Or I guess I can't.
Or something?
I don't see it on the Wikipedia, but yeah, they were like well in the universe. Universe went until September 1995. Okay. So they were deep in at that point.
Did they release like weekly? So what do you mean by they're well into this?
Yes.
Wow, okay.
So one can assume they had a good chunk of production between the previous two episodes when it was 5 months in between. And then, okay, we'll do this, and then we'll move some team off, and we'll go back to finish off Universe.
3 months of a weekly series. That's like a whole arc of a story. Like,
right.
A whole arc, and then back to, oh yeah, remember this thing happened 3 months ago? That's crazy.
I mean, people were, eating, sleeping, and breathing Tenchi at this point, because there was stuff coming out nonstop.
So they were actually exactly halfway through Tenchi Universe.
Wow.
The same day this episode came out, they hit episode 13 out of 26 of Tenchi Universe.
And I guess you got to remember, this is before like streaming and everything, so it wasn't like easy accessible to get to these episodes. Just like whatever's on. Remember this Tenchi thing from there? Yeah, here it is.
All right. I love it. So, episode 12, Zero Ryoko. Zero couldn't bring herself to kill Tenchi and has to flee after her cover is blown. Washu, Tenchi, and Ayeka chase after her and join Mahoshi to apprehend the doctor. Washu confronts Dr. Clay herself, both of them trying to learn as much info as they can while also tossing barbs back and forth. Just who is Washu? Why does Tokimi want her? And how do we deal with 2 Ryokos? All right. So, again, we're just cutting right to it. Stab. Oh, just the pillow next to his head, to his, sleeping head.
I like that Tenchi is asleep this entire time, too. Like, it's just her inner turmoil. Zero's own
Does he have earplugs?
Like, damn it. I don't know. Yeah, maybe it was that smooth of a. Hey, he works hard, so he sleeps hard.
He's not smelling the singe of his now what was once a perfectly good pillow, now ruined.
Now there's a hole.
I mean, she tore his mom's kimono before. What is, is a little pillow burning. It's fine. So Zero leaves the room and Washu is outside waiting and is just kind of like, aha, see, I knew you're going to try something. And then she takes off so that Zero can try to catch her. And then like, oh, I got you. And then like, oh, what are you going to do with that? And then Washu did the old, ninja jutsu replacement.
Yeah. Turn into a wood doll. Like, what?
It's got this life-size doll. It's like, if you want, I can put a ribbon on it if it's a gift. Just like being so sassy.
This makes Washu such a badass to me. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, this is why I love this character. Like, she's such a unpredictable, like, always has the upper hand. She's always beating you in chess because she's always a move ahead. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
There's one point in here. I don't know when exactly it takes place, but Ryoko yells out, Ka! And I was like, is she about to charge up a Kamehameha?
Yes. That was, she just said Ka, but that was a very much Kamehameha Ka.
Yeah.
It was like a Ka. Like
we're still Dragon Ball Pill that we definitely just heard something that wasn't there. It was like, Ka.
I would love to hear Patria Burchard's impression. Like, try to do a Masuko Nozawa Goku Kamehameha.
That'd be cool.
She's got a cameo. I got to go pay some money. I'll be right back. As if I have to go to a different room. I'm already at a computer.
Yeah. Your money room. Cameo.
So it's so great. Like, Zero is like, oh man, I thought we had you. Just like throwing the doll down. It's like she was sure that the link was cut, that she wouldn't have known about this. And Washu's like, but the gem is real. I'm like, okay. She knows this. And then, yeah, that's right. This is when Ayeka shows up and is like, stop the fighting. And I love Zero. Just like, I'm not here to screw around. Just like slams the Guardians against the wall. And Ayeka's like, oh, damn, we're just starting.
No concern for the Guardians, though. Just like, whoa, I didn't do that.
Destroying part of the house. Like, all right, this is kind of odd. And then, of course, Tenchi arrives and Zero doesn't do, the comedic thing. She's like, I just have to go. I can't deal with this. And then just zips off.
Was it then when like Ayeka reveals like that she knows that it's not Ryokos?
Right.
That's what I mean by like she's onto it somehow.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that makes sense. I don't think that it was conveyed well, if that's what happened.
Right. I get that.
Right.
Yeah. But that's
what I like. It's more like
this show sometimes though. It just leaves a lot to your own interpretation. It's possible that could have happened and possible not. It's great.
Yeah. She at least seems like I had a hunch and I was pretty sure, but I didn't want to act on anything. It's like, okay, so this is kind of like the confirmation. Like this was the whole thing. Like there's a strange exchange between Ayeka and Washu about this. Is like, you're right. That wasn't, the real Ryoko. Well, I guess that makes sense why like she was like this so that, it makes sense. And just like Washu was like, yeah, I agree. Like just like a very flat, like, yeah, I know, moving on.
The way that you should set something like that up is just have reaction shots from Ayeka. She doesn't have to say anything, but just show her like looking at Ryoko doing something and then like her eyes close a little bit. Like show us that Ayeka's got a read on the situation without having to like dive deep and have this whole invasive bit into the plot. That's what I'm saying is that yeah, this is a perfectly fine theory that there was a conversation or Ayeka was suspicious, but you do have to take the audience into account on that kind of thing and string that along a little bit.
Sometimes, but things like that, I don't think is like her knowing isn't super important. It's just kind of like, oh, she apparently knew. Like it didn't change the story at all, whether she knew or not, kind of thing. So the fact that it's kept secret the whole time, I think was fine.
Yeah, but I agree with Ken here that we have to think about how we're conveying the story. I feel like Kajishima, especially for like this episode, is very much like, I'm going to say a lot of stuff rather than like use any sort of visual storytelling or like character reactions to convey things. Like,
and dude,
I feel that was more Hayashi's thing.
I'm with you 100% when I watch other forms of media, movies and TV shows. Like I'm like, they should have had like a little reaction shot, could have sold it kind of thing. So for me to be like, no, I think this was fine. I don't know what it is about me about this series, about this particular moment. I really believe that it was fine not having a reaction shot of any kind. But I'm typically on your side, Ken, with that.
I am looking forward to OVA 3, Doug.
Oh, no.
OVA 4 and OVA 5.
All right. So then let's move ahead. Washu is like, we're going to get Ryo-Ohki. Ayeka, you're going to come with. Tenchi, you're coming. All right, cool. We're going to go and we're going to track down where Zero went and see what's going on. And they find the ship, but Mahoshi is already there from her investigation
what does Mihoshi have to do with, like, because they were like, oh, Mihoshi's a genius, like, finding this. Like, did her being there help them find the ship or something, or what?
No, it's just that she was on her own to go investigate, to go find out, okay, the spaceship Shunga was robbed. Or it's very strange. At one point, they're like, oh, the ship was stolen. Like, the whole thing. Not like somebody went in and took stuff from it. They're like, no, the whole thing. So
I'm just wondering what the difference is, like, the story, what it needed Mihoshi to be there for in that way. Because they could have easily just, as also had Mihoshi join the rest of the gang as they're going with Ryo-Ohki to find the ship. Like, it would have been cool if, like, oh, we can't find the ship. Oh, but Mihoshi, we can lock on her signal. She happens to be there. That would have been a little extra, like, good tie-in.
I think you have to reestablish what exactly it is she does for a living. Not having seen future parts of the show, I would imagine that Galaxy Police comes back up again. I mean, we do have a whole Tenchi GXP that's part of this universe.
Yep, exactly. And it's just hijinks to show up and be like, oh, Mahoshi's already there. Like, is she handling it well? She is not, of course. Like, dodging the lasers, but then she's like crashes into the hull of the ship and then is on the outside of it getting chased by little octopus robots. It's good. And so they're like, all right, she's after the whole Shunga thing. And I'm so confused about this vase that shows up because, like, Clay is very particular about it. And he clearly has something to do with Shunga. Like, was this on that ship? Does it mean something? Does it, like, hold Shunga inside? Like,
it's just a joke that's, like, something precious to me because he put a mark on it. It must be something precious to him.
He just loves that vase. That's fair.
Yeah.
Dude's got taste. So Tenchi and Aika arrive to help Mihoshi, who is crashed on the outside of the ship. And Washu instead just goes straight to the bridge, where Clay is watching Tenchi fighting his octopus robots. And this is going to be a whole long thing of just sitting down and having a conversation. And I wanted to note that in the Toonami edit of this, they have some weird shots because if you notice in the background, we have the original real Ryoko who is like trapped in this cage thing and she's topless and the whole time. So it's like we have a lot of like zoomed in shots to be like, don't look over there. You can't look over there. They do put a bikini top on her from time to time, but I'm sure just to reduce how much work they're going to have to do, like just crop it. I don't want to
zoom in. Yeah.
This is cheaper.
It makes me think back, though, to part 1 when they're in the Soja and how there's like constant action going on. Ayeka's doing stuff. Mihoshi's doing stuff. There's a lot of movement. And here we get like Mihoshi running back and forth with those octopus robots. But Tenchi's in his battle outfit. Ayeka's in her battle outfit. And they're just not doing anything.
The coolest thing we have is like his little monitor watching it for like 4 seconds, but it's so small. And it's like, there's a lot of really cool camera stuff that's going on there. There's like a heavy color filter over it, so you can't really see.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, it's so hard to tell what's going on here.
They don't need to be here at all.
Yeah.
And then literally the rest of the episode is just characters standing and talking to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which could be fine if it's done well, but I don't think it was done well here.
I feel like maybe they were just stretching themselves too thin, also having Tenchi Universe at the same time. So like we don't have the time to also be choreographing and like, reworking animation to really make anything look cool here. So let's just sit around and talk. So some bad scheduling, I think, might be the culprit here. But it's the 90s and I don't have any sort of the documentation on that. We do have some cool stuff because it's always been I feel insinuated that like, okay, Ryoko has all these powers. And she's the daughter of Washu. What's her deal? So like Clay is like going to pull out a gun, but then Washu just fires like a laser out of her hand and like knocks it out of the way. Like, oh, okay, cool. She's got some moves. That's fun. And where's that going to go? And then we have this whole conversation of like Clay being forced out of the academy, and it was Washu and all of the mean girls' fault, I guess. Just torturing this poor boy. And let's see here. He's upset with her. He threatens to blow up the ship with Tenchi and Ryoko. Like, you stay back there, otherwise I'm going to blow it up. It's like,
I have the blow up button, the default blow up button.
All evil scientists have the evil blow up button. So she's like, so he wants to inquire more, but like, so what are the gems? Now that I've got you stuck here, like, what are they? Like, frankly and honestly, you should tell me. And just this great,
it's funny.
Well, sir, frankly and honestly, I don't know either.
Makes the voice and everything.
Does the Japanese kind of emulate that as well?
Yeah,
totally.
It does. It's so good.
I think it's funnier in the English dub, but it's done in the Japanese one too.
But yeah, Washu also doesn't have a clue. She's like, they've been around me since I was a little girl. So since time immemorial.
So she says, yeah.
Well, he's got her in the goop, so he can like read memories and stuff from there. So it's like,
Oh.
I'm telling the truth, because that's what they did for, getting Ryoko's whole thing. And, then he's like, all right, so why is Tenchi your guinea pig? Like, what's the deal with that? He doesn't seem all that impressive. And she's like, that's why I like him. He's just normal. That's fun.
He's a fun little goofball. Yeah.
Yeah. Hardworking farm boy.
Milk toast guy who like, that's the one thing too, is I wish Tenchi did some things with Zero to further tie the bond of like, no, I like him even from the memories and from the stuff he's done now.
We get to it.
Thing.
I feel at the very end. I think so. At least a little bit. Clay says he's hated her for 20,000 years. So again, this is about as far back as she remembers. And
he put it in a very like poetic way. It's like, I think about you every day and how I wish I didn't ever meet you or something like that.
Yeah. It's like, oh, he's going to profess his love? No.
I thought of nothing but you.
Mm-hmm. So now he can just take her to Tokimi, and then she could be out of his hair, and it'll be great. And then Washu teases him for being a perv for little girls. It's like, oh, you just, you just have a thing for me. And I think Clay has a really great response because he's upset by these accusations. Like, why would I be interested in something I can't tell the front from the back?
Dang, that was a good burn. That gets she gets really mad about that. It's like, I'll freaking show you, and like start to buttoning.
This isn't what she looks like. She is like a normal adult woman. She just chooses to be in small form.
She might have transformed mid undressing herself to show that, but
was that line kept in the Toonami version?
I don't think so. I don't remember hearing that. And I also don't think I was paying attention super
It's probably
well
such a quick joke that people wouldn't have caught it. Like,
I think they also cut off the whole thing of Washu being like, you like, little girl. Every time there was that whole thing, they're like, just cut that whole part out. I think that's what it was. So Washu knows who Tokimi is, but is shocked he called someone by title. Doesn't know her.
Oh, yeah.
It's just the constant, like, being sassy that I love for Washu here.
Yeah.
And she's like, now remember, I was locked up for 5,000 years. And she doesn't remember anything since before 20,000 years ago, and is going to want a hint, because, like, clearly she should know about that whole thing. We cut to Tenchi, Aika, and Mihoshi, who are inside the ship and lost in a loop before they get trapped, which I think has just an odd joke that's like, Mihoshi, is she this dumb? She's like, oh, I understand. The layout of the ship is different from the Galaxy Police headquarters, which means that I don't know where we are. Like, yeah lady, places are different from each other.
Yeah, very weird joke. I kind of get what they were going for, but I don't think it was nailed perfectly well.
Yeah, I would agree. So Clay is curious how Washu found out about Zero and his location. Like, first of all, like, this ship is huge. How did you know I was here? And also, like, how did you know it was Zero? And this is very funny because Washu says, like, you have a habit of putting your logo on all of your favorite things. So I found her in the bath. And of course, the head of this ship also has that thing. So I knew it was in here. The Toonami version says, like, you have a habit of putting your favorite logo on everything. That's why I know from the head, this is where you were. And then they move on. They don't talk about how she knows that it was was fake.
Zero thing.
Because of the butt. We would have to flash back to that, but they're like, nope, we're not even going to talk about it. So that was the thing of like, this scene is important. And then they're like, they even reference it later, but they're not going to talk about it.
Right,
so, like,
can't. But yeah, anyway, but I love in shows like this, especially too, where it's like you forget it's a comedy, but they're like just these big things that like, how did you know this? And it's like some dumb throwaway joke, not throwaway, but it's the dumb joke that reveals it. Like it's this perfectly embodies like you put your mark on everything, and so that zooms into the front of the ship that's 10 million feet wide. It's like right there, there's a little logo right there. That's how I knew you were right there.
Just a quick zoom in. So let's see here. It threatens to harm Ryoko, and Washu barely catches the vase that she's playing with, and that like really freaks him out. So then he's like, I'm just going to capture you in goo like I did Ryoko again here. Take that vase back. But then Washu does her old jutsu thing of like, there you've got the doll again. But also she's got Ryoko's laser sword thing, so she can also do that.
Oh yeah. Well, she's like, I put a ribbon on this one this time for you.
At the first part, I was like, substitution joke again. But then she pulls a sword out. I'm like, okay, all right, let me see what you're doing here.
And the ribbon, literally that ribbon joke really sells it for me. Like, okay, there's the setup and then the payoff. Yeah, put a ribbon on it for you this time.
Mm-hmm. So at this point, like, Washu's got the upper hand, but then all of a sudden, Zero shows up and fires a blast and just shatters Washu's swords. So now she no longer has that. And And Clay's like, aha, see, you forgot about Zero. So now I win and everything's going to go great. And then Zero's like, also, you can't do anything.
Yeah, also screw you.
Yeah, I'm also going to hold you at gunpoint because, she wants Tenchi and her feelings have overridden Clay's control. He's like, I don't understand why it does this because the robot should just do what I tell it. But she doesn't want those memories erased, and she wants to live as Ryoko from now on. And declares, "I am Ryoko." And Clay breaks the ring that he's got on, which then zaps her, which is I guess like a sort of self-destruct or fail-safe thing. In case the robot goes crazy, here's the control mechanism. Break it. She gets zapped, and then
safe fail. Like trying to make those words. I was like, I think you said it. Okay, perfect. Randy's got it.
I got you covered. Don't worry about it. So Clay goes on this whole thing. He's a perfectionist and he loves perfection and his work is perfect. And when it's not, he gets really upset. And that Clay investigated Washu's past and plans to make a copy of Washu's memory like he did Ryoko. Okay. I had said before that he was doing it when he captured her, but that's right. The goop wasn't until now. Washu's memory like he did Ryoko and must solve the mystery of Washu and the gems as he doesn't even know if the gems even really exist. And then he remembers that conversation with Zero. It's like, I don't understand. Tokimi, I saw her, but everything says they can't exist. He's like, oh, is this a similar thing? And this is when Zero blasts the crystallized thing around Washu so she can break free and Dex Clay and all that. What are you guys thinking at this point when it's like, oh, there's a something going on here?
Jorians are mystical in some higher dimensional. You're talking about the gems, right?
Right, exactly.
Those are Jorian gems.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. I just
thought the gems from the sword, right?
Yeah, but those they're not. They didn't come from the sword. Yosho took those out of Ryoko because she had all three of them.
Oh, okay.
Remember at
the sword?
She had the sword through her neck, and she was like, "I'm gonna get you," and then absorbed the gem down it and put it in the hilt to take away all of her power, so then she could be sealed in that cave.
Well, so
new Jolly Rancher flavor that hasn't hit the streets yet, so it's super powerful.
We saw Washu and Tsunami's silhouettes next to each other. We know Tokimi is some higher dimensional being that can't exist, and these are apparently Washu's gems that can't exist. So there's some chicanery going on with these three characters.
There was 9 total or whatever. They just happened to show the silhouettes of the two characters.
There's just a whole bunch of other people, higher dimensional beings that just show up to be like, yes, we're here for the meeting.
Yeah.
But then there's 2 of them specifically that are as large as Tokimi that are behind her, that are shaped like Washu and Tsunami.
Yeah.
Which is super cool. So now Clay's going to make his break for it. And they're like, oh, of course, I hit the button to blow up the ship. He takes his vase and he gets out as Washu tries to hack the system, stop the destruction. And Ayeka makes the realization of oh, everything's collapsing and we're going to be sucked into a black hole. That is what is going to happen here.
I've never been this close to a black hole before. This is awesome.
I bet you haven't. Yeah, you'd be dead. Oh, which I love. Washu tries to get control of the ship as the black hole forms, and Ayeka, being smart, makes a magic bubble thing. All right, maybe we could make it through this. I doubt it, but I at least got to try. But of course, her power can't hold out, so the bubble dissipates, and we just have this time freeze thing as everybody is just well, we're going to be spaghettified here in super dense gravity before Tenchi's forehead glows, and then time comes back to him, and it's oh, okay, maybe something's weird. Clay's making his way out. He's oh, okay, well, at least I got out of here. Wait, what's that going on over there in the black hole? And just some light thing comes out. Zoom in. It's the Lighthawk wings, and Tenchi's there in his suit. And he's got the other girls behind him. Totally safe. We're getting out of a black hole, which not even light can, but some Lighthawk wings can, I guess.
That's how unmemorable that I forgot that a whole thing you just said happened at all. I'm
really?
How do they escape this? I forget. Whatever.
It's interesting that it happens, but it's just not cool.
Yeah.
There's no battle here. I like Dr. Clay's actor. There's some interesting lore between him and Washu, but there's no compelling villain this season. Kagoto is so awesome.
Yeah.
And we don't get anything like that here. I don't know. Maybe next episode. I don't think so.
Well, they shot themselves in the foot by having all the characters go through the same exact route as the Kagato thing. So it's like you feel the comparison of like this isn't anywhere near what Kagato gave us.
Right. We didn't have everybody meet up to fight somebody. Like Ayeka and Tenchi and Mahoshi were off still trying to get to the fight if there was going to be one.
But they're still like, going to space, getting on a ship and trying to traverse to get to the end stage where some of our characters already are.
Yeah. But we don't have that. It's very anticlimactic. Like nothing really big happens here. Right. But also for Kagato, like as far as that goes, he was the big bad. Versus here, it's like, yeah, we have Clay and Zero, but Tokimi's out there. So like, and she's not
just a minion, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's very forgettable of like, oh yeah, he did get Lighthawk wings a second time, which is here to escape from a black hole, which on paper, that sounds pretty cool. But yeah, they didn't really do a lot to really sell it and give it a lot of impact or something. So he's like, okay, well now this is interesting. This is why he was the guinea pig, because that's not like, those can only be made by like Jirai ships. So this just boy did it. So I got to go tell Tokimi and we're going to figure something out before Ryo-Ohki pops up and they capture him. And Mahoshi's like, all right, I'm going to take him to jail.
I love Ryo-Ohki's like cat meow as it appears as a huge ship. Meow.
Oh, it's good. Washu gives her the vase, and then of course Mahoshi trips and it just shatters. It's like, oh, I broke it. And Washu's like, it's okay. There's a tube of glue in there for you because I knew this would happen.
That's hilarious.
This was the part, Doug, where I felt like at least we had some interaction between Zero and Tenchi that like kind of sold it, because like he's there for her. Like he knows this isn't Ryoko. This is just something else, but he's still there in her final moments to like hold her.
But we needed it before, like instead of another gag of like I'm shy around Tenchi. It's just like, no, let's have them have a tender moment together, like to solidify that this Zero had a nice moment with Tenchi. That's her own.
Oh yeah, that's totally fair. I agree with you there. Now you've ruined the whole episode for me.
Sorry, that's what I'm here for.
But he calls her Ryoko, and she's like, I've been wanting to be called that forever. Like he's called you that every time so far.
No, but it's like a genuine, but it is like sweet and sad at the same time kind of thing. It's
right.
Like, I want to be Ryoko. It's like, you're not.
Right. But he still calls her that, even though he knows, which I think is very sweet. So then we have this whole thing that Washu concocts. And she's like, all right, get back in. You're going to be one body now. And they're like, wait, what?
What?
And from what I could tell, because I took notes only when I watched it in Japanese with subtitles. But then when I was watching the Tsunami version, which was, of course, the dub, and things are slightly different in that in the dub, she brings up that he tried to copy Ryoko, but couldn't do it. So rather than copy her, split Ryoko in two. So now there are two Ryokos. Now we're going to put you back in one body. But if I was reading the subtitles correctly, no. That is right. What did I write down? I'm dumb. Okay. It's the end of the week. Today's my Friday. I've had a long week. All right. Forgive me. Ken's got his glasses off. He's ready to go. Ken, what do you have to say?
So my understanding of this scene was that Washu is saying that Ryoko was always too different.
It was very
that is
confusing.
But Ryoko says like that's a lie because she's trying to not make it seem like it is what it is and just be like, no, this is like the same person. And I'm just putting them back together while she has like a mental conversation with Ryoko of like, I know this isn't you and this was a copy of you, but she's kind of like the same you, but like more free. And I don't like to see her die. She's my daughter.
Since we don't see a lot of real Ryoko after she gets the copy made, maybe we can say that they split like Kami and
and
Piccolo style, where like this Zero has all the emotion and love that it's split apart from Ryoko.
No, this is so stupid. I think is the worst part of the show. And if they continue to like reference that this ever happened, I'm gonna have a problem. Okay.
Yeah.
And what should have happened is that Zero just dies, and that shows Ryoko that she should be more open and more honest with herself, not just like cheat code combine them two.
Right. I like that, Ken. I also like when stuff happens in a story that has lasting effects.
Right.
And with that, have a new character introduced in this Zero character. So then there can be this like Ryoko looking character that is a more like bubbly and like cheerful kind of Ryoko. So you get both, and she kind of sticks around for at least a little bit within the story.
It's a real Roxas Ventus situation for all those Kingdom Hearts heads out there.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
just
I guess, yeah, something like that.
by killing Zero off in the scene, you can have an actual like earned character growth moment for Ryoko, and that's not the route they go.
No. Yeah, we could have this robot, have a sad death. Ryoko turns Super Saiyan 2.
And so this is what I really, really, truly, honestly, the daima of these episodes, because there's just no thought being put into things, and when they do put thought into things, it makes no damn sense because they overthought it.
They overthought it because they want to get away with this is character growth because now Ryoko sees this and they're assimilated now. They're the same, so now it's like she's learned a lesson, but it's like no, it's like it's weird. It's like it is like a cheat code.
Yeah. Here's the thing, and from just looking at how this whole OVA season 2 has been. Man, they really love two things being one thing now. We have Sasami and Tsunami. All right, cool. They're the same person. And that's just how it is. And secretly, that's how it's always been. Here's Ryo-Ohki, and here's the mass. Oh, you know what? Now they have to be two things are now one thing. So now Ryo-Ohki can turn into this human thing. Oh, we introduced Zero, who's like a more, kind and like, emotional Ryoko. And now they're one thing.
She's the only woman in the house that openly showed her emotions toward Tenchi. How nice would it have been a continuing story from now on to have a character like that around the house where it's like someone is actually a threat to Tenchi's emotions or whatever, and it's a clone of Ryoko. So Ryoko has to like step up herself and have actual character growth to win back Tenchi.
Her always be in a different outfit and her hair in a ponytail. Yes, so that way we can tell the two.
Always like in like the cleaning outfit too. No, that's what I envisioned too, dude. Totally. That would have been great.
Ayaka would not have stood for that. She's like, I gotta go against two Ryokos now, and one of them that's not a total dick.
Yes, two very different Ryokos would have been great. I think it would have been great.
This is like again why I just long for Universe, where I'm like 99% sure this kind of stuff doesn't happen, and Ryoko is just Ryoko.
Just Ryoko, just a space pirate.
Yeah, when this episode was wrapping up and like Ayaka or Ryoko's wearing that like white dress and she's waiting for Tenchi, I was like, oh my god. Ryoko's like now my least favorite character. I really hate everything about this.
I was like, what is she doing? Oh, I guess she wants to be sweet and kind of wait up for Tenchi. It's like, okay.
Right.
Like this is not the Ryoko that we fostered for this whole time.
I feel And if I remember correctly, I don't think that's a lasting thing where it's like, oh, now this isn't the Ryoko, but you're just it's kind of like the Piccolo thing of just like, oh, just if you forget, Kami's in there somewhere, but like, that's whatever.
Honestly, these past few episodes, not even just these two, but the past few, maybe this whole season has felt like just the Washu show anyway. So maybe that's why not much thought has gone into them.
Yeah, we haven't had a lot of Ryoko and Ayaka because they were like the central figures for OVA 1. And like, okay, let's explore all the other girls that we've introduced. So they're not just like the blonde one and the young one and the other young one. So, Ken, I get it. I get the frustration because it's like you took away my favorite girl and you've ruined her. So,
but it's most of this is what happens when we watch stuff that I've got thoughts about, right? Is that most of this show was like 10 out of 10 no notes. And then we hit this and it was like just falling down a hill and was never able to get its feet under it.
Okay, well, let's jump into some other stuff that isn't Ryoko. So, Tokimi and D3,
back on.
They're watching the whole thing with Tenchi going on. D3 is like, okay, well, that's interesting that he's got Lighthawk wings capable of material conversion, which is weird because he's only got 3. And they're like, oh, okay, so there are special rules of like things that you can do at certain levels of power. And they're like, this is just such a strange situation because I guess this dimension has not only Lady Washu, but also Lady Tsunami, and they're all living on the same planet. That's so weird. And then we get introduced to the silhouette of a man with spiky hair, and we have this 5-petaled thing in front of him. He has a name, but not for a while. Not for like 8 years after these episodes aired.
Oh my god.
So Doug, this guy that they show briefly is the main antagonist of OVA 3.
Central antagonist.
Yes.
Damn, you better do your homework before you watch this. That's crazy. 8 years.
Which is weird because to me, the show first aired on Toonami in 2000. And then the OVA 3 came out and started coming out in 2003. And I want to say we were getting it on DVD here in 2004. So it was only 4 years in between. But as a teenager, I was like, I've been waiting my whole life and we're finally getting new ones. That's so wild. I'm like, it's 4 years. Like as a 37-year-old person, I'm like, yeah, man, that was one president ago.
That is
Things
the beauty.
Better. You know.
That is the beauty of like these series, though, is that time can go on, and then when you start up OVA 3, you might not remember that they kind of teased this character before, but the story still continues without much hiccup because they know how to tell a story, but it's still there for the diehards that kind of like, wait, isn't that? And then the buzz now with the internet, like it's buzz around like, this is this character. Did you know that? Did you know that? And then, you know, because it was still like mid-internet finding itself style. So if you find Easter eggs like that, it was like, whoa, huge news. I got to blog about this real quick. And there's no YouTube video. Here are the 5 things you missed out on. There's not that anything yet.
Because I didn't own OVA 1 and 2 on DVD when they were coming out. And then I was getting OVA 3 in single releases as it was coming out. And then a couple years later, a friend of mine sold me his DVD collection, that ultimate like green one with Ryoko with the mask. So I popped those in and I was watching it. And then I watched this episode and my mind was blown because I had just watched OVA 3 with Z, and I'm like, he was around the whole time.
That feeling is there because of you. Yeah, I'm glad. That's why I like when they do this. But you got to think that they don't actually put that in when they made these episodes. That wasn't going through their head because this is like pre-DVD. It was like barely VHS, right? So
you just wait a couple months when we get to 13.5, my friend. So,
oh my god, 13.5, can't wait.
Yeah, so this is the scene. Of course, it sucks. We're back home. Ryoko's reading comics, and Washu like calls for Tenchi, and then Ryoko's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go meet him and wait outside." It's like, isn't Tenchi not supposed to be home for hours? And Washu's like, "Yeah, I just wanted to do it because it's funny." So, and Ryoko just like, "I hope I'm gonna turn back to normal one of these days," and that's the end of that. So, Ken, I know how you felt about this episode, and I feel you that we just tumbled down this hill. But Doug, you had a thought you were going to share, but then you're like, no, next episode.
I already shared it. It was I mixed it in with everything else, but I just hope that this has either I hope it has great lasting effects or it's kind of forgotten in future episodes. It's kind of like, let's go back to normal Tenchi for a bit.
No, I feel you.
It's so hard as we get towards the end of this. Of course, we do still have one episode left, it's the longer one. But as we get towards the end of this, knowing the reputation that the more modern part of the show has, it hurts a little bit. And it's kind of, it shouldn't be souring me in advance, but it kind of is. And I'm really trying to go into OVA 3 with as open a heart as I can, already knowing I will be watching that subbed and that it looks like poo-poo and that the art style is different.
Yeah, a lot of this
that I'm sure the music's different.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really rough. But I'm trying to keep an open mind.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear it, Ken. And hopefully you can find some redeeming stuff coming up. I think the next episode is fantastic. And hopefully that's not just rose-tinted glasses. I think the next episode is really good. So
while we're looking ahead to the next thing, people who were fans of Dragon Ball at the time, of course, meanwhile in the world of Dragon Ball and the Backstreet Boys, so Doug, go ahead and do your research real quick.
Crap. Yeah.
Of course, by June 25th, 1995, Dragon Ball the manga had ended. It ended on May 23rd, 1995. So people were really reeling and mourning about the number 1 manga of all time having ended in Japan. And so maybe people went to Tenchi hoping for a nice episode and instead found some Ryoko dual clone chicanery. Anyways, the manga was over. But on June 28th, 1995, the anime was still going, and we were at Merged, Vegeta's Pride, and Goku's Rage, which is, of course, Vegito.
Some more fusing of 2 characters into one person.
Yeah.
Going on this week.
Really, what? Come on, was that really necessary, guys, to copy a show that I guess got its idea from your manga? Who knows? Who's to say?
Yeah, who is to say? We don't.
But
know,
I would like to know what Doug has to say about the Backstreet Boys.
Nothing much.
95.
They were still on tour, but they had just hit Germany in the beginning of May. That lasted all the way till August.
Whoa, that's a long tour.
They went to places such as Berlin, Vienna, good sausages, Mannheim. Yeah.
Steamroller?
No steamroller.
No.
That's a good joke. Better than what I was going to say, because Doug said they hit Germany, and I was like, Mr. President, the Mexicans have hit the second town.
We didn't even talk about we'll get into talking about 9/11 when we get to OVA 3 and just how, the mindset change. 9/11 happened between these two parts. So really, that's a huge cultural shift.
Honestly, probably. Right. Yeah, if anything.
It's a whole different country. I don't think they were, whatever. I don't know what.
Tenchi needed a passport to get on this plane. They wouldn't just let him in.
Had to take off his shoes, and he's like, that's fine. I don't wear shoes in my house, so that's okay.
Only sandals.
Only sandals. Okay, so that's that. What are we doing? The skeets now? You seen what people had to say about these episodes there?
Randy, I would love to, but we got to go to break.
Oh, okay. Well, then look forward to that after the break. Hey, everybody, we're back, and we've got to hear what you guys had to say about these 2 episodes of Tenchi Muyo. And thankfully, Ken put out the good post over there on the Blue Sky, and we've got our first one here from buddy of the show, Lance, Myster Fusion. Ken, do you want to take it, or should I take it?
I will take it. How about that?
All right.
The plot with Zero is hilarious and heartwarming, and her musical theme, Chef's Kiss. The cliffhanger ending to 11 is iconic. I love that she gets her happy ending, but it makes me uncomfortable that Ryoko is essentially forced into it, regardless of what Washu says to the contrary. By 12, there's a feeling of repetition with Dr. Clay, despite being less action-focused than Kagato. It feels like this is the obligatory part of the series where Tenchi, Ayeka, and Mihoshi go into space to save Ryoko, and Tenchi uses his wings, but the impact is diminished compared to Kagato. Perhaps a few narrative cracks are starting to show, but as long as the strong character work and wonderful music are around, they're more than enough to paper over these minor deficiencies for now.
For now.
Some stuff happens. I just, whatever amount of money it'll take, I will pay it. Let us have somebody who can go in and rescore OVA 3 at least with the music from OVA 1 and 2. That is the thing that bothers me, is that after this, all this music is gone and it's something else and it's not good. I mean, it's fine, but it's not iconic and, super, super great.
This is what I'm talking about. People are like, AI is bad. And it's like, yes, but AI could help us really rip out the dialogue and sound effects from Tenchi OVA 3 so that we could put OVA 1 and 2 music in it. And don't you want AI in your life to be able to do that? Don't you want that experience?
So anyway, Rob here said, episode 11. I love the space backgrounds from the start of the episode. They look great. It was funny to see Zero's reaction to the slice of life shenanigans of the household. I thought the motions that Zero did to calm herself down from the scene where Tenchi asked about the laundry was cute. Episode 12, just wanted to say, Ayeka looks cute with her hair down. I love Washu's mocking voice for Clay. Frankly and honestly, that was really funny. I love the detail in the background with Ryoko's reactions to scenes. I'm also happy that Zero got a happy ending. Her storyline in these 2 episodes was sweet. Funny enough, when one of the Tenchi Muyo manga, they also have a clone Ryoko plot as well, but that goes differently. Also, just want to add, I would recommend watching the Toonami version of episode 13. They completely changed the voice direction for a character, and it's for the better, in my opinion. Wrong, Rob. Disagree. Because I know exactly who you're going to talk about. And no, we're watching it the way it was meant to be, and it's offensive to me, but I love it.
Whoa.
To me and my people.
Oh, okay. He's talking about the bald community.
No, I'm not. Saryu. He's so good. I know, Rob.
You both adjusted at the same time in the scene. That was funny.
It's our secret code to each other of just like, watch it, Ken. You're on thin ice.
I forgot. I loved how Ryoko is just in the background. Like, you can see her yelling, but you can't hear her because she's like contained in the thing or whatever. It's funny.
Mm-hmm. Again, we're just repeating things like, here's the part where Ayeka and Ryoko and Mihoshi, or Ayeka, Tenchi, and Mihoshi go save Ryoko in space. Ryoko's stuck in like a special bottle where she can't escape from. There's the Lighthawk wings. Like, yeah, it's just episode 5 and 6 again. Sorry. And it wasn't 2 Ryokos. It was a brainwashed Ryoko, but like,
yeah, still,
yeah,
different kind of brainwash if you think about it.
Yeah, if you think about it, it's mostly the same. But maybe I will watch part of the Toonami airing, but if they change Seiryu's voice, I can't abide by this. I know that that's not what he sounds like in anything else because he shows up again in GXP and he sounds not that way, but I think it's important to talk about it when we watch it for next time. So strap in. It's going to be a good one. And, thanks for listening. Thanks for interacting. We love talking with you guys about one of our favorite franchises in the world, even though it's starting to go down a little hill. But you know what? There might be some peaks that we can look forward to. So, stick around. You can post at us on our Blue Sky. That's just at wegottapodcast.com over there. And you, of course, can email us over at wegottapod@gmail.com.
Doug,
where can people find you, I guess? Because that's right. You're not going to talk about Rifty Beats here today, are you?
Bye.
Let me put that down for a second. No, I hear you going for your ending riff. I'm like, wait, he's ending it. Where's my lines? I was like, I didn't get an.
Where's Senpai trivia? He's gonna get me.
That I always forget about. I didn't even think about that. But you can find me at Doug on Blue Sky, TikTok, Twitter, everywhere.
Nice.
And you can find me at Detective X. That BSKY.social.
There you go. You can find me at Saberbreaker at wegottapodcast.com. You can just look for Saberbreaker. He's there on the Blue Sky. That's me.
All right, everyone. So next Tuesday, presumably, we will be reviewing, talking about episode 13, which is episode 6 of OVA 2, and 13.5, which is 6.5 of OVA 2, which will set up for OVA 3, which is great because then after that, we're not watching OVA 3 right away. We're watching Daughter of Darkness, which I've been campaigning for since the beginning. And we'll find out how bad of a mistake that might have been. Over on our Dragon Ball show, and here I am gesturing to the Dragon Ball show, I guess.
Ball wall.
We will finally be starting the Granola arc. And we're just going to be dipping our little toesies in there with a chapter and a half of the manga. And I actually just went ahead and previewed it and read it myself the other day. And Doug, ooh. That's all I'm going to say.
You said it all, baby. Ooh.
So we're getting into Granola. And that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to reading it. This is like my third or fourth time with Granola now. I reviewed it for the Konzenshu podcast, and I'm not even going to go check to see what I said. And I'll compare notes after the fact to see how much was different now.
Yeah.
But so lots of cool stuff happening on We Got a Podcast coming up here soon. Thanks for listening, subscribing, reviewing, doing all that stuff, telling the moms. We can't forget about the moms. I know that we don't talk about the moms here much on Tenchi, but there are moms in Tenchi listening to our podcast about the Tenchi moms.
Makes you think.
Are they? Prove me wrong. And we'll catch you, Matsunator.
Bye.
See ya.